She keeps hitting people. She just keeps swatting people in the head. Like, how did this get rescinded? How did this get rescinded? She literally just took out her head.
Dejanay, you're always in a dirty play. Dejanay, once a...
The WNBA's 2025 season is in full swing, and it's already messier than a reality TV reunion. Dejanay Carrington, the 2024 Most Improved Player, is out here leading the league in flagrant fouls like she's collecting them for a scrapbook. 3 flagrant fouls in just 8 games? Girl, that's not a stat line, that's a rap sheet. And the latest drama? A chase-down block attempt on Seattle Storm's Skylar Diggins.
Dejanay Carrington need to get the hell out of Dodge, bruh. And I'll be the first one to tell you something has to get done with this assaulting players, bro. It started to become a habit with her assaulting people, and something just has to be done at this point. Now, this is what she just...
That had her hitting the floor harder than a bad Tinder date. Carrington's out here swinging like she's auditioning for a Marvel movie, and fans are not having it. One ex-post called it a trash play from a dirty player. And honestly, the shade is so thick you could spread it on toast. But is Carrington really the villain of this story? Or is the WNBA just fumbling the ball on player safety? Let's break it down like a fast break. First off, let's talk about that Seattle Storm game. June 3, 2025, Dallas Wings versus Seattle Storm, and it's a close one. 83-77. Storm take the W. Carrington's chasing Skylar Diggins like she's trying to win a gold medal in hustle. Diggins goes for the layup, Carrington leaps for the block, and wham! Her hand catches Diggins' head, sending her crashing to the court. The refs call a flagrant 1 foul, and the arena's buzzing like a hive of angry bees. Now Carrington's defense? I'm just playing hard. She took to X saying, "Y'all fans swear I'm such a dirty player. I'm so over this narrative, BC. If you really know b-ball, you know I just play hard, ASF never give up on a play." Okay, Dejanay, we get it. You're out here channeling your inner Dennis Rodman. But when you're leading the league in flagrant fouls, maybe it's time to dial back the hard ASF and aim for smart ASF instead. Here's the thing. Carrington's not just catching heat for one play. This is a pattern, y'all. Let's rewind the tape. Earlier this season, she clipped Minnesota Lynx's Jessica Shepard in the face during a game on May 21st. Flagrant 1. Then, on May 29th, she's tangling with Chicago Sky players, racking up another flagrant. And let's not forget the infamous eye poke incident with Caitlin Clark last season. No foul called, but Clark was out here looking like she just went 12 rounds with Mike Tyson.
She made a play for the ball. I agree she made a play for the ball. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She took out her head. She didn't undercut Gabby Williams in the same game. In the same game. She should have...
Now fast forward to June 7, 2025 against the LA Sparks. Carrington's battling rookie Sarah Ashley Barker for a rebound and, yep, you guessed it, yanks her ponytail like it's a tug-of-war rope. The refs called it a common foul, but fans on X were screaming for a flagrant. One user posted, "She's been called for 2 flagrant fouls for this exact play already this season." Dejanay, are you playing basketball or starring in a reboot of Mean Girls? Now let's pause for a hot second and talk about why this matters. Basketball's a contact sport, sure, but there's a line between physicality and straight-up recklessness. Carrington's out here crossing that line like it's a finish line. Her defenders, and she's got a few, like teammate Marina Mabrey, say she's just an aggressive competitor. Mabrey tweeted a 5-word banger, "She's just playing her game." Respect, Marina, but when your game's got players ducking for cover, maybe it's time to rethink the playbook. Carrington herself said on X, "We challenged the last couple flagrants, got them rescinded, BC. I'm always trying to make a play on the ball, none more, none less." Shh, cool story. But when you're swatting heads like you're playing whack-a-mole, the play on the ball excuse starts sounding like a broken record. And here's where it gets juicy. The WNBA's response, or lack thereof. The league's been rescinding Carrington's flagrant fouls left and right, like they're handing out get-out-of-jail-free cards. Multiple refs, trained to spot dangerous play, called these fouls in real time. Slow-motion replays showed Carrington's arm catching heads, not just balls. Yet the Dallas Wings appeal. Carrington cries foul on social media, and poof, the flagrants disappear. This isn't justice, it's a magic trick. The WNBA's basically saying, dangerous play? What dangerous play? While players like Skylar Diggins and Jessica Shepard are out here dodging elbows like they're in a boxing ring.
Been ejected. Even if there's no intent, it's still an ejection. In her last 10 games, or last 12 games, sorry, she has swiped at 4 people's heads. She has 3 flagrant fouls for swiping at a head, and she's...
And don't even get me started on Paige Buchers. Yep, the 2025 no. 1 draft pick and Carrington's own teammate. Beckers ended up in concussion protocol after a game where Carrington was involved in questionable plays. Let's talk about Paige Buchers for a sec, because this is where the WNBA's fumble gets personal. Buchers is the future of women's basketball. Think LeBron-level talent with Steph Curry's marketability. She's supposed to be lighting up the 2025 season, but instead, she's sidelined with a concussion, missing games, and maybe even Rookie of the Year buzz. And who's in the middle of the play that sent her to the bench? You guessed it, Dejanay Carrington. Now, to be fair, the concussion might have come from a collision with Courtney Vandersloot, but Carrington's involvement in yet another sketchy play raises red flags faster than a referee's whistle. The Wings' decision to appeal her flagrants while their star rookie's out cold. That's colder than a polar vortex. It's like they're saying, player safety? Nah, we're chasing W's. And don't think this is just about Carrington. The WNBA's leadership, or lack thereof, is catching strays too. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, not Angelbert as some folks keep saying, is under fire for letting this slide.
Go a week without you flailing and going after somebody. Can we just go 1 week? That's all. Just 1 week, Dejanay. Dejanay Carrington decide. I can't even.
Fans and analysts are calling her out for dodging tough calls like she's avoiding a bad blind date. Engelbert's already been roasted this season for her comments on racism in the league, and now she's getting dragged for not cracking down on dangerous play. Ex-users are livid, with one posting, "The WNBA's whoever is rescinding these flagrant fouls should never be allowed to do anything in basketball again." Harsh? Maybe. But when the league's overturning legit calls to appease a player who's out here playing like it's Mortal Kombat, you can't blame fans for losing it. Engelbert's job is to set clear rules and enforce them, not to play peacemaker with the loudest voices. This isn't leadership. It's a vibe check and she's failing it. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The WNBA's been preaching about physicality being part of the game, especially with stars like Caitlin Clark taking hard hits left and right. Clark's rookie season was a gauntlet. Remember that eye poke from Carrington last year? No foul called, but it fit a pattern of Clark getting targeted. Fast forward to 2025, and Clark still catching strays, like a flagrant 1 foul she dished out on Chicago Sky's Angel Reese on May 17th. That play sparked its own drama, with Reese getting booed by Indiana fans and allegations of racist comments flying around. The WNBA investigated and couldn't substantiate them, FYI.
Dejanay Carrington hunts down Skylar Diggins and makes a clear non-basketball play. Let's get into it.
Expected the game. Brings the tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down.
But here's the kicker. Clark handled it like a pro, saying, "There's no place for that in our game." While Carrington's out here tweeting like she's fighting for her life. One's a class act, the other's a keyboard warrior. So why's Carrington catching so much heat? It's not just the fouls, it's the attitude. After the Diggins incident, she didn't own it. Instead, she hopped on X, whining about the dirty player label and bragging about getting her flagrants rescinded. Sis, when you're leading the league in headshots, maybe take a beat and reflect instead of doubling down. Fans aren't buying it, and they're not just Dallas or Seattle fans, Connecticut Sun fans, Indiana Fever fans, everybody's calling her out. One X post summed it up. This isn't a narrative, it's a pattern. It's not hate, it's accountability. Mic drop. Carrington's acting like she's the victim of a witch hunt, but when you're swiping at heads like you're auditioning for a slasher flick, the only witch is the one in the mirror. Let's keep it real. Carrington's got skills. She's a defensive beast, averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game in 2025. She earned that Most Improved Player award in 2024 for a reason. But there's a difference between being a lockdown defender and a loose cannon. Imagine if Draymond Green and Ron Artest had a basketball baby. That's Carrington's energy right now, minus the self-awareness.
I'm such a dirty player. I'm so over this narrative because if you really know ball, you know I just play hard as F and never give up on a play. And yep, we challenged the last couple flagrants and got them rescinded because I'm always
She's out here acting like every foul's a personal attack on her character, but when you're clawing faces and yanking ponytails, the only character in question is yours. And the WNBA is enabling it by rescinding her fouls, sending a message that dangerous play's fine as long as you've got a good lawyer or a loud enough Twitter account. So what's the fix? It's not rocket science. The WNBA needs to grow a spine and set clear rules. Dangerous play, headshots, hair pulls, reckless swipes should mean automatic suspensions, no appeal needed. Intent doesn't matter when someone's in concussion protocol. And Engelbert, she's got to step up or step out. The league's growing faster than a TikTok trend, with stars like Buchers and Clark drawing eyes. But if players keep getting hurt because the rules are softer than a marshmallow, fans will tune out faster than you can say, technical foul. But Carrington needs to clean up her game, or she's going to be the poster child for what not to do in the WNBA.
So once again, Dejanay Ratchet as Carrington is back at it again, being the dirty player that she is. She plays so hard. How many dirty plays?
Smith, the king of sports hot takes, the man who could argue a brick wall into submission and delivered a masterclass in how to speak truth to power. We're talking about the so-called resentment narrative swirling around Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who's got the WNBA popping like it's a blockbuster movie premiere. Are the veterans salty? Is there beef between the old guard and the new wave? Candace said, "Hold up, let's set the record straight," and proceeded to drop a truth bomb so massive it left the internet in shambles. Let's set the scene, because this is where it gets juicy. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's a walking, dribbling, three-point shooting revolution. This woman's got grandmas who don't even know what a pick and roll is glued to their TVs, boosting WNBA viewership like it's the Super Bowl. Merch sales up 450% according to Fanatics, with Clark's name plastered on jerseys flying off the shelves faster than free samples at Costco. She's not just selling t-shirts. She's out here ranking 5th among all athletes in merch sales across sports, rubbing shoulders with NFL and NBA heavyweights. That's like a rookie chef walking into a kitchen and outcooking Gordon Ramsay, Bobby Flay, and Ina Garten combined. And yet, somehow, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert keeps tripping over her own sneakers when it's time to give Clark her props. Instead of hyping up this generational talent, Engelbert's out here dodging questions like she's in a dodgeball tournament. Meanwhile, Candace Parker's like, nah, let's keep it 100. And that's when the real fireworks start. Stephen A. Smith, who's been riding for Clark harder than a hype man at a rap concert, hits Candace with the question everyone's been dying to hear answered.
This now for this season, constantly trying to take people out on the court because you got all that ratchet girl energy that you got to release on the court, man. And you know what's funny about this? Remember when she was in practice with Paige?
Is there resentment in the WNBA? Are the vets feeling overlooked while Clark's stealing the spotlight like she's Beyoncé at the Grammys? Now, if this was a reality show, you'd expect some vague PR-approved nonsense, but Candace, she's not here for the fluff. She leans into the mic, eyes sharp, and says, "My job was to leave the game better than I came into it." Boom. That's not just a mic drop. That's a whole soundstage collapsing. She's channeling Cheryl Miller, the hoops legend who mentored her, sitting courtside cheering for Juju Watkins without a hint of shade. Candace is doing the exact same for Clark and every woman in the league, proving that real queens don't just fix their own crowns, they hand out crowns to the next generation. Meanwhile, Engelbert's acting like she's allergic to giving Clark her flowers, and fans are not here for it. Let's talk about Cathy Engelbert for a minute, because this woman is serving leadership fails like they're on a brunch menu with bottomless mimosas. Picture this. She's asked about the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, the wave of hype that's got the WNBA trending on every platform from X to TikTok. Instead of saying, "Yeah, this kid's a game changer and we're lucky to have her," she hits us with, "No league's ever about one player." Okay, sure, teamwork makes the dream work, but then she adds, "That player could get hurt or whatever." Excuse me? Did you just casually toss out an injury jinx on your biggest star? That's like saying, "Oh, Taylor Swift's killing it, but she might trip on stage and break her ankle." The internet lost its collective mind, and rightfully so. Fans were out here pulling their hair out, wondering why the commissioner of the WNBA sounds like she's rooting for a plot twist in a bad movie. Candace Parker, on the other hand, is preaching unity and growth, saying, "Visibility matters." She's hyping up the league's expansion, the primetime TV slots on ABC and ESPN, and the skyrocketing viewership.
And Paige was clowning her, and she was like, I got bad knees. That's why I can't shoot, but you fly through the air like a ratchet raven to go and try to block shots and then just take people out. And now all of a sudden, your knees just aren't bad to be able to do this.
She's like, y'all, we're winning. While Engelbert's stuck in a press conference saying all the wrong things. But hold up, because it gets worse. When Engelbert was asked about the racist and toxic behavior aimed at players like Clark, stuff that's been bubbling up on social media and spilling into real life, she fumbled so hard it was like watching a blooper reel. Instead of taking a firm stand against hate, she gave some wishy-washy answer about rivalries being good for the league. Rivalries? Sis, we're talking about harassment, not a friendly three-point contest. She even had the audacity to compare it to the Magic Johnson-Larry Bird rivalry, like that's remotely the same thing. Magic and Larry were trading buckets, not dealing with trolls spewing hate online. The WNBA Players Association had to step in and call her out, saying, "Yo, Kathy, address the racism, misogyny, and harassment." It's like Engelbert's playing checkers while everyone else is on a chessboard, and the fans are tired. Candace, though? She's crystal clear. Let's keep it about basketball. 5 words that sum up everything the WNBA needs right now. She's not dodging tough topics. She's slicing through the noise with a laser focus on the game.
WNBA, whoever is rescinding these these flagrant fouls should never be allowed to do anything in basketball again, because intent is nothing to do. Intent has nothing to do with flagrant fouls. She just keeps swatting people in the head.
So why's Carrington catching so much heat? It's not just the fouls, it's the pattern. In her last 12 games, she swiped at 4 players' heads, clawed 2 others, and racked up 3 flagrant fouls. That's not a coincidence. That's a trend. Her defenders, like teammate Marina Mabrey, say she's just a fierce competitor. Mabrey dropped a 5-word banger on X. She's just playing her game. Respect, Marina, but when your game's got players ducking for cover, maybe it's time to rewrite the playbook. Carrington's X-posts don't help her case either. Instead of owning her mistakes, she's out here acting like she's the victim of a conspiracy. "I'm so over this narrative," she wrote after the Diggins incident, as if the narrative isn't based on her own highlight reel of headshots. Sis, when you're leading the league in flagrants, the only narrative is the one you're writing with every reckless swipe. Now let's talk about why this matters. Basketball's a contact sport. Nobody's expecting tea parties and tiaras. But there's a line between physicality and straight-up recklessness, and Carrington's tap dancing all over it. Her style's like a runaway train, impressive until it derails. Take the Diggins play. Chasing down a fast break and going for the block is classic hustle, but catching someone's head instead of the ball. That's not hustle, that's havoc. And it's not just Diggins.
Carrington is sitting up here really trying to downplay this whole situation. Like, she ain't at fault here, bro. Like, you've been assaulting players for the last year and a half, bro. Then you want to come to social media and act like you just playing hard on the ball. Like,
Jessica Shepard, Gabby Williams, Sarah Ashley Barker. The list of players on the receiving end of Carrington's flails reads like an all-star roster. Fans on X are calling it ratchet energy. And while that's harsh, it's not entirely wrong. Carrington's playing like she's got something to prove, but proving you're tough doesn't mean putting others at risk. Here's where it gets juicy. The WNBA's response, or lack thereof, is pouring gas on this fire. The league's been rescinding Carrington's flagrant fouls like they're handing out participation trophies. Multiple refs trained to spot dangerous play called these fouls in real time. Slow-motion replays showed Carrington's arm catching heads, not just balls. Yet the Dallas Wings appeal, Carrington cries foul on social media, and poof, the flagrants vanish. This isn't justice, it's a magic trick. The WNBA is basically saying, dangerous play, what dangerous play? While players like Skylar Diggins and Jessica Shepard are out here dodging elbows like they're in a dodgeball tournament. One ex-user put it bluntly, the WNBA's whoever is rescinding these flagrant fouls should never be allowed to do anything in basketball again. Harsh? Maybe. But when the league's overturning legit calls to appease a player who's playing like it's Mortal Kombat, you can't blame fans for losing it. And don't even get me started on Paige Buchers, because this is where the WNBA's fumble gets personal. Buechers, the 2025 no. One draft pick is the future of women's basketball. Think LeBron's charisma with Steph Curry's shooting touch. She's supposed to be lighting up the league, but instead, she's sidelined with a concussion after a game where Carrington was involved in questionable plays. Now, to be fair, the concussion might have come from a collision with Courtney Vandersloot, but Carrington's presence in yet another sketchy play is like finding glitter at a crime scene. It's hard to ignore. Buekers has missed 3 games and counting, potentially costing her Rookie of the Year buzz and robbing fans of a breakout star. And the kicker? Carrington's her teammate. If you're putting your own squad at risk, we've got a problem bigger than a bad call. The Wings' decision to appeal Carrington's flagrants while their franchise player's out cold. That's colder than a Minnesota winter. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just about Carrington. It's about the WNBA's leadership, or lack thereof. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is catching strays left and right, and it's not hard to see why. Engelbert's been under fire all season, first for her tone-deaf comments on racism in the league, and now for her inability to crack down on dangerous play. Ex-users are livid with one posting. Engelbert's leadership is like a ref who swallowed their whistle. The WNBA is growing faster than a TikTok trend, with record viewership and sponsorships pouring in. But if Engelbert can't set clear rules and enforce them, the league's risking its credibility. Rescinding Carrington's flagrant sends a message.
Oh man, then you're gonna try to call out fans for pretty much calling you out for your BS. High head always, audience of one. Like, come on, bro. Hothead is what you should have said, because you is definitely a hothead, bro. Like DJ.
Dangerous plays fine as long as you've got a good lawyer or a loud enough X account. That's not leadership. That's a vibe check, and Engelbert's failing it. Now, let's talk about Caitlin Clark, because no WNBA drama is complete without her. Clark's rookie season in 2024 was a gauntlet, with veterans like Carrington targeting her like she had a bullseye on her back. That eye poke incident? Just one chapter in a saga of hard fouls and cheap shots. Fast forward to 2025, and Clark's still catching strays. On May 17th,
the WNBA continues to brag about physical play. All the while, they have players in this league that is going to get people hurt. Last night, Skylar Diggins came very close to being really hurt. There's a difference